Welcome to the Celtic Craft Studio. I'm Terry, and today we are going to finish these tags. As you will have noticed, I had to do two parts because it was way too long. So now I have a challenge. I need to get this done within 30 to 45 minutes or my video is too long and then I have to break it up. So let's get started and see if we can do this. This is what we did last week. Actually, we did these two last week. And then I did a third one off camera with a collage strip. This is a collage strip. Then there was that butterfly paper I really liked, so I used that on the other side, and then a matching paper. And so I am going to decorate the front and on some of these the back. So let's get started. And while I'm doing this, I want to say hi to Gail. Gail has been watching and Gail has sent some people over. I am just so grateful and thankful. Hi, Gail. I appreciate you in so many ways. In fact, I don't know if you've heard the Gail story, but while I'm doing these, I may tell you the Gail story. So let me start. This is the finished product of these. All right, here's the green. Let's not get these messed up. All right, so here's the green one. Okay. There's the pink one. And then this is the turquoise. I guess we're going to call that aqua, maybe. Okay. So let's go ahead and work on this. What I did was I didn't do the back at all. I just decorated the front. So let's go ahead and decorate the front and show you how I did that while I tell you the Gail story. Let's see if I can walk and chew gum at the same time. Haha. All right. First I'm going to glue my pocket on and then I'm going to fill my pocket. So in about, and I've kind of given you an abbreviated version of this, in 2018 when I first started this craft, I actually started it for a reason, and I was a little generic when I told you that. So now you're going to hear the full story. In 2018, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And having grown up with a father who has type 1 diabetes, he was diagnosed when he was 17. I have a son who was diagnosed when he was 7 with type 1. And I have a grandson who has type 1 diabetes. So when I came down with it, I say that like it was a cold, and it's not. It was misdiagnosed, even though I explained it runs in the family. We have the gene, and I have passed it on. So there was some misdiagnosis, and it was a long and trying road. And I could sit around and feel sorry for myself and feel overwhelmed, or I could find something to keep me busy. And that is when I started watching Gail's videos. So I thought to myself, doesn't that look like fun? I have done many crafts in my lifetime, and I thought, well, let's try that. I love paper. I like the whole concept of it. I think I'm going to try making a journal. And so I did. And I didn't have an Etsy shop right away. I didn't know if I could. So I just started making journals to the point where, wow, I had a lot of journals, and I'm not a huge journaler, so let's see if I can sell them. And that's when my Etsy shop began. And it was slow going. slow going for a while until Gail came to visit Colorado. It was in October. I know because it was like the day after my grandson's birthday. And I went to visit her, and I gave her a gift. I gave her a journal. And she so kindly showed this journal on her channel, and after that, things just kind of took off. And so because of Gail, first of all, I would call her my inspiration. She's the one I watched and followed and learned from. And she also was a huge encouragement. Still is. Still is. She found my channel, she's been watching, and then she sent people over here. And so I am just so thrilled to call Gail my friend. Thank you, Gail. I won't cry. I'm not going to cry on camera. But I really appreciate you. And I appreciate your friendship. And I just want to thank you so much for all the inspiration and encouragement. And as most of you know, because you've come over from Gail's channel, you know how special she is. So I thought I would share that with you so that you, if you've come from Gail's channel, you'll understand why she means so much to me. All right, so this is the easy one. You can just simply put a pocket on the front. Now, I could have put the pocket on the back. You can cover the back with maybe straw paper, some antique paper. I did go ahead and distress it around the edge so you can just write on it. So you could leave it plain. And then I put the pocket here. So that's our first one. Okay, so now we have two of these. And I did do a little something extra. You know me, I like, you know, the little something something. So this one has a paper clip on it. And I think I'm going to leave these. I like that the way it is. But I'm going to put the paper clip here. And you know how much I love these paper clips because they're so teeny tiny and hard to do. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Have you been watching Gail's videos? She's moving. I noticed, I think I watched the one a day ago, and she was going through all her ideas boxes, and I had to chuckle. I don't have quite as many idea boxes, but I definitely have a few ideas, so I had to chuckle because I understand. I know what that is. All right, so I went ahead, I put a paper clip on, and I decided I was going to use a little tape. So if I can get the tape to cut, I am going to put, I think I'm going to maybe put this one down in the corner. All right, and do I have my tweezers around here somewhere? I do. Here they are. Sometimes against the dark matte, dark things are hard to find. So like I said, for many years I was misdiagnosed, even though it runs in the family, and I have the autoimmune disease that destroyed the gland that makes insulin. So it took, well, until last year when I finally got on a pump. It took that many years, 2018 to 2025, for them to realize that I had the autoimmune gene and I do not make insulin. So they put me on a pump, which has made all the difference in the world. But the moral to that story is, when you're going through a health issue, and you know your body best, I mean, if you know something's wrong and they're not helping you in a way you think they should, push. Find new doctors, find new information. You are your best advocate. And I would highly recommend that you pursue until you get an answer. And that's what I did. And I'm so happy I did, because with a pump, it's much easier to control your diabetes. All right, on to the next one. So here's our first. I like making them in twos. I don't know why. I have always made my tags in twos. Here's two that I worked on. I like the colors on this one. And this is a whole other technique, which maybe we'll talk about another time. All right, so this one, we've got a man and a woman. Like I said, sometimes I like doing men and women or boys and girls. And this one has something on the front and a pocket on the back. All right, it's kind of the best of both worlds. So let's do the front first. And let's see, I have the guy here. That's going to go on the back. That'll go on the back. This goes in the back. All right, let's put him on the front. And I think he goes the other way. All right, so let's scooch him over. I think he needs to go here. And then I found this flower, which I kind of want to tuck behind him. So I am going to glue that first. And it's kind of tricky. You know, I've seen those glue bottles with the real pointy, fine tips. This might be something for that. But I just put the glue in the larger places, and then I kind of spread it out. And you're probably going to have to get rid of some strings. And you might have to go back if there's something flopping around. But that's kind of the nature of the beast when you've got something this fine. Okay. But I'm going to definitely try to cover those big parts. Okay, let me turn it around and get some of the strings off. Can you say awkward? Yes, it is. All right, and I want to place it in such a way so that this falls down behind him. Once again, you do not have to be as particular as I am. That's my own disease. But, okay, and make sure you get any goo, any strings, make sure you get it off. Now's the time while it's still wet. All right, and he needs to go down. I thought I was trying to put him higher, and that's not right. See, he covers that bottom stem. Okay, so I'm not even going to trim it off. On this one, I think I trimmed it off because it kind of stuck out. Let me get some glue on him, and then we will get him down. So what are you guys doing? It has not gotten any cooler here. In fact, we had some rain, and now it's humid. But I grew up in Nebraska, so I'm not afraid of humid. Thank heavens. And humid in Colorado is not the same as humid in Wisconsin or Nebraska. All right, do you see why I picked these two? They look like they go together. And then I tried to find another one of these labels. I couldn't, so then I got creative. I found a label and I put a rub-on it. And I'm going to put that down there. Include that on. It's been quite a traumatic week. First of all, we've had lots of medical appointments. Isn't that what life is about when you get to a certain age? It's about all the medical appointments. So, been busy with medical appointments, and then my printer broke. And those of you that have Etsy shops and do this craft know that that's not a good thing when your printer breaks. So it's on its way. It's supposed to be here today. So I'm hoping they're right, because I really need my printer about now. I had pages to print out for journals and people ordering things, so I need to print out order slips. So it's like a major trauma when your printer goes kaput. All right. So this is a corner pocket, and so it is glued as such. And then I'm going to put it down in this corner. Once again, you could put some straw paper, some other kind of paper on it if you wanted to. But because I'm putting all these things into the pocket, it covers the back up anyway. So, oop, sticking things in my glue that don't belong. All right, so I found, let's turn this over so you can kind of see what I did. I found the word trunk, and I want that kind of going down this side. Be careful your pocket isn't dry yet, so I got to be careful not to stick things in and have them get stuck. All right, that needs to be trimmed down. He's a little too big. So, and once again, inking up to you. Some things I ink, some things I don't think need to be inked. All right, I'm not going to push that all the way over. I will when it's dry, but I'm not going to do that now because I don't want it to get stuck in the pocket. All right, and then I found this little tack. You know, I may go back and put a rub-on in there. I know I have my rub-ons around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find one real quick. Keeping in mind we have a time limit. Oh, well, maybe that'll work. Here, let's see. There is the word stamp. All right, let's see. Is it too big? No, I would say it's just right. But is that what I want? Is that what I want? There's an interesting combo. A bug and the word invoiced. There's something else. North Pole. I don't think I want North Pole. That's more a Christmas thing, isn't it? I don't know. Stamp looks like it's not enough. And I don't think you have to fill a whole area. I mean, look what I did the rub up here. I don't think I need to fill that whole space. But sometimes, I know. And some people don't like bugs, but I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the bug. I can't say I'm always crazy about bugs either. I like butterflies. I like bees. but sorry if my head's in the way. I'm trying to kind of center it. And then I rub it. They have a popsicle stick in there you can rub with. And try to rub the same direction. Try not to get too crazy because you could pull that up and scrape your rub-on off. And you don't want to do that. All right, let's see if we can get it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, so let me put that in there. And you can put it behind the trunk if you're not crazy about the book. Or the bug, sorry, the book. The bug, you can put it behind. But you know what? I'm going to embrace the bug and put it up front. Okay, and then we have a ticket. All right, move that over here. And then I decided the pocket needed something else. And I decided it was this. A little bit of a frog this morning. I think it's the allergies. When we don't get a proper rain, we just kind of get a buildup of all kinds of stuff in the air, like smoke and allergens, and does not make my nose happy. All right. I can't believe that summer's like half gone and my grandson is already talking about going back to school. So time flies, especially the older you get, I think. All right, once again, I think, yeah, I'm going to do that. Maybe going the other way, though. And the trick with these is always finding which side is the side, and it's not this one. It's not that side. I love this tape stuff, though. This is cool stuff. Once again, just kind of adds a little something, something. All right, so I'm going to kind of put it at an angle. Just seems a little more interesting to me. You know, it's a junk journal thing, and I don't think they were necessarily perfect when they were taping things in. All right, and then on this one, I put one of our clips. So let me dip into my clip thing. You know about the clips because we made some. Oh yeah, I like this. We'll do the lucky on this one. And I did it on the side. We got a lucky. And we have the heart that says wishes. Oh, that goes well together. I like that. Okay, so we have those two. Those two are finished. And last but not least, we do the green one. And this one, let me get all the pieces apart here. This one, I actually put a slotted card on the back. I think that's what they call those, slotted card holder, slotted ephemera holder. So that's what I put there. Oh, and I can see I need another rub, but that's okay. We'll do the front first. So we're going to put him on. And I found these, I don't know what these are called, and I didn't keep the package. Shame on me. But they are a Tim Holtz ephemera set, and they don't make them anymore. I don't know how popular they really were. It's definitely one of those things you have to use your imagination in order to think, what am I going to do with these? All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to glue him down, but I'm going to leave it so I can kind of tuck that under so I can get the umbrella in the right place. So let me, once again, we got a man and a woman, and to me they looked like they went together. They're wearing their Sunday best. Maybe they're going to church. I don't know. These are the things that go through my head. Scary, huh? I think it makes it fun, though, when you're doing this and you want it to tell a story and you're kind of thinking about the story. Once again, you do not have to use Tim Holtz things. You can go on to Etsy. You can look around on the internet. There's a lot of copyright free. Make sure it's copyright free. So you can create your own Tim Holtz look without buying Tim Holtz. But once again, these paper pieces, nobody seemed to like them. So there was like a whole pack of them at Hobby Lobby for $2. And I said, oh, you know, I can think of something to do with those. And to me, something like this is perfect. I like the contrasting, just kind of black and white, grayscale and white. So, oh, there's a little punch out I see. I'm going to do that. Even though I don't think you're going to see it because it's going to be behind his hand. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that, but it's okay. We're going to do it anyway. Just to say we did. I think it's time to fill my glue bottle again. I go through a lot of glue, that's for sure. I was thinking about the things I used the most the other day when I was without my printer. You know, I would say my printer is probably my main tool. But then, you know, the ink, the glue, all those things, very important. All right, it doesn't exactly go over his hand, but, you know, it's close enough. I'm taking license here. And you'll notice I did not ink these because I like that contrast. And if you ink it up, then you kind of lose that black and white theme going on. But once again, it's up to you. All right. And I found a label that I am going to put right there. And I stapled, like on here, I stapled before I glued it down. That way it's not going through the tag. Which it would be okay if it went through this tag because we're going to cover that up. But if you're not going to cover it up, you really don't want that staple showing through. At least I don't. You know me, I'm a little persnickety. There's a word. My grandma liked using big words, so. Persnickety was one of them. All right, so then we're going to turn it over. Oh, I guess I did have this on there. And do I want it on this side or that side? I don't know that I want it on the green side because it kind of distracts from the umbrella. Terry, that's an umbrella. See, it's a foreign thing. We haven't had rain here in so long. Okay, so let's glue it on that side. You know, if you didn't have an eyelet here, you could put an eyelet through this little whale's tail tab. And this is the mini tab. Sometimes by the way, I should mention this, sometimes I carry these in my shop. I have a customer that special orders them, so they're not always there, but I do special orders, and if you want some whale's tails, I'd be happy to do some for you. I'd also be happy to do slotted cards if you don't have those. You know, I'm going to go ahead, even though we're putting something on here, I am going to go ahead and kind of cut the edge here. And I'm going to trim the umbrella off. You might want it hanging over, but I don't. I don't want it hanging over. All right, so let's go ahead and turn him over and do our slotted card, which fits perfectly. I thought, oh my. And I'm just doing it around 3 sides because I do want that top open to tuck a tag in, because I found the perfect tag. Okay, we're at 30 minutes, guys. Can we do this? I think we can. If not, we'll be having a part 2 again. Wasn't the end of the world. All right, so we got that lined up. I'm making a mess here. Let's move that over. All right, so let's let that dry just a minute. And I found the perfect tag in that it's part of the front paper that we used. And it has the word entertainment. Like I say, when I get double packs, which I deliberately do sometimes, since I like making these matching tags, I'll get 2 sets, and then I have them to make these. All right, so there's our entertainment. Watch you don't get it too close to that edge. I don't want it glued in. All right, and then we are going to, I think, put some pink. Is that going to fit? Well, it fits in there. Maybe I'll do that. Push it down a little farther. I don't know. To me, it's too big. See if we can find a smaller pink. A smaller pink in our pink pack here. When I get the bits and bobs from the color palette set, I separate them out, as you've seen, into different sets, and that is a green and pink set. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's do this. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of plain. It's kind of plain. Do I have any exciting looking cards over here? I've got purple, pink, blue. This is kind of nice, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll do that one. All right, pull that up. All right, and then down here I have, because that's kind of blank down there, so I went ahead and put another label, and it looks like we need a rub. Let's go ahead and put the label on. Try to center it so it Doesn't look too cattywampus. There's another one of those words. All right. And this, oh, I've got these here. I like that. I've got book number, or I've got these figures, and I like the figures. And I think I am going to be different. I mean, obviously it's number 1, you know, might be our first choice, but I think I am going to do number 2, just to be different. All right. These fiddly little things. Oh, and there's piece of paper. I don't want the piece of paper on there. Okay, figure 2, right there, right there. I like that. All right, once again, rub it. Try to rub the same way so we're not. See, because it sometimes brings that up and then you could scrape your thing off. And I don't want to do that. All right, so now I think we need, like this one, I don't have a green tag, but let's go ahead and put this tag. I need to put our lid on too before. And then I'll show you one last little thing. And then I think we will be done. All right, so I put a ticket like this, and then I made this little slide thing. Let's see if you can see. Okay. And I had, let me put this away because I had one made, but I have a feeling he got lost in my pile of stuff, which, you know, isn't unusual if you look at my desk. Not unusual at all. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. All right. So I made that one, but I'll make one from scratch so you can see. These are, I don't know. This is one of those things that one day I was looking at and I thought, you know, do you ever do this? I woke up the other day and I had had a crafting dream. I have crafting dreams. Some of my best ideas come from dreams. And I have one we're going to try. I have one we're going to try that was a dream. And this was one of those. I thought, I had looked at this and I wondered what in the world I could do with these. There's got to be something I can do with those. And these are the little squares. I don't remember what paper pad they came from, unfortunately. If I do a little research, I can probably find out. And if you know, drop it into the comments. But you can cut these apart. And there was a larger square too, which I have around here somewhere, where you can make a longer one. But I thought these short ones were perfect just to tuck it in. So what I did was I took some of the film tape, is what I'm going to call it. And do they still make this? Can we still get this? If so, I probably should go. It used to come in a tin. And unfortunately, they stopped doing that. Because the tins were cool. I think I have the tin around here somewhere. All right, I need my stapler, which is over here, of course. And you're going to staple the ribbon onto the picture. Just make sure you catch it. You don't want it too far up, okay? And then I'm going to put a staple at the top. Try not to get his head. Just catching it so it'll stay, okay? And then I thought this was a little too much, so I cut it down. And then you have that to tuck in here. Okay? Like that. I love these. And you can make, here, I'll do the last one and put these in my box, because you can make these and you can staple them to the top of something. You can put them in a journal, just tuck it into a journal someplace. All right, so let's make this one. So I've got 2 in my box over here to my side. So when I'm going through it, looking for ideas, what am I going to put there? I can see it because they are perfect. I mean, that is perfect. Did he plan it that way? That's what I want to know. Did they plan that way? It's perfect. All right. And we love it when a good plan comes together. And once again, I'm going to try not to get too much of his head. And then I'm going to cut that down just a little. And there I have 2. Let's get a piece of paper so you can see. I have 2 of those little strips that I can use elsewhere. Okay. So here we go. We got this pocket. And you know, I think I'm going to turn these around. I like the Paris idea. I'm going to pull this up, put Paris down here, the ticket and the slide. All right, so there we have the last tag. And now our tags are decorated. And I have been known to sell these in my shop. I sometimes put them into journals. Now, obviously, if you've got something on the back, you aren't going to glue it in. You will hook it in with maybe a clip like this. Okay. In fact, let's put one on him too. We don't have them decorated. That's fine. I don't think they always have to be decorated. But you can put them into a journal. You can send them just the way they are as little gifts. I like to send thank yous to people that order things from my shop. So sometimes I'll drop these into a thank you packet. So there are many, many, many things you can do with tags. Tags are a very versatile thing. So I hope this was a fun one and that you will try these. Once again, you do not have to use Tim Holtz paper. I have stacks of scrap paper that would be perfect for a project like this. So I hope you'll have fun with this, that you'll make many of these. I'd love to see what you make. You can post it on my Facebook page, the Celtic Craft Studio. You can post them in the comments below. I'd love to see if you give these a go. Thank you again to Gail. Thank you for sending your friends over. Thank you for all those that have joined and commented. I had so many comments, and I will do my best to get to all the comments. Please don't think I'm ignoring you. I just tend to get a little overwhelmed with life sometimes. But I will do my best. And until the next time, let's get crafty.